Hi, I'm Caroline. For your information tonight on digital and online. Request denied. MS sufferer refused right to end her own life by High Court. A deadly epidemic. Number of women smoking here is growing. We've the stats. Bend it like Samsung. Mobile giant unveiled the world's first bendy smartphone. And the nominees are: Lincoln leads the pack as Oscar unveils his favourites. In sport, don't mention the 4. Leinster banned bonus point talk. Plus, someone's got the hump.
I said get the f***ing Hoover for f***'s sake!
Humbling, inspiring, a most remarkable witness. Mary Fleming was praised by 3 judges today, but they ruled against her bid to die. The 59-year-old who has MS may now take her landmark battle to the Supreme Court.
Day hearing the outcome Mary Fleming did not want, despite the High Court judges describing her daily suffering with multiple sclerosis as harrowing. They ruled against her bid for assisted suicide.
She and Tom and their family greatly appreciate all the efforts that have been made to give Mary's case a full and speedy hearing. Obviously, Mary is very disappointed and saddened at today's outcome, and feels it would be inappropriate at the present time to discuss any specific legal or factual aspects of the case.
The 59-year-old wanted the state to change the law to allow her to die with the help of her partner without the fear of him being prosecuted. Mary Fleming said the ban on assisted suicide violates her rights to dignity, privacy and autonomy. But all 3 judges said the risks of abusing a relaxed ban are too real. The court has ordered that the state pay all the legal costs. Now Mary Fleming and her legal team will have to decide whether they take their fight all the way to the Supreme Court.
Also tonight, burning down under. Temps set to rise again in Oz. We've the latest. Plus, fighting on a new front, Syria's refugees face yet another battle, Mother Nature. Now, what's on the buzz, Paul?
We check out a rather unique robot that's helping scientists fight the winter vomiting bug. Plus, one iconic mode of transport is celebrating 150 years in service. I'll tell you which one on the buzz in 5.
A shocking fact: more Irish women are dying from lung cancer than breast cancer, as more and more women are taking up the habit. Cancer groups have said the epidemic needs to be tackled now. Just to warn you, this report contains some graphic images. Smoking amongst women here is on the rise, and the figures are shocking. Lung cancer is now the biggest cancer killer in Ireland among both men and women. In 2010, 702 women died of lung cancer. Breast cancer deaths for the same period amounted to 634. Stats show that a third of women here now smoke. More younger women are smoking too, with 50% lighting up. Stats also show the percentage of women smoking is higher again in disadvantaged areas.
This is a real crisis. It's a crisis for women, and it's a crisis in terms of our health services and what we do to address it.
The National Women's Council and the Irish Cancer Society have now joined forces to try and reverse the deadly trend.
We want new programmes developed, and in fact we're looking at new and innovative ways that we can support women to quit, because clearly the current programmes aren't going far enough and aren't doing enough.
Cigarette packets here are set to change from next month. Photographs like these will appear on them from the 1st of February. Graphic warnings of a fatal habit. The church has had its say on the last day of the abortion hearings. Church leaders joined pro-life and abortion lobbyists in front of the Oireachtas Committee, while Church of Ireland leaders are welcoming the government decision to legislate in certain emergency cases. Catholic representatives want a referendum. A Red C poll out today showed that almost 2/3 of people are in favour of legislation now. Panic in Pakistan. A bomb targeting paramilitary soldiers has exploded in southwest Pakistan, killing at least 38 people and injuring scores more. Officials say the bomb went off close to a truck carrying soldiers and damaged surrounding buildings in the city of Quetta. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack. The region is volatile and home to the Taliban. A race against time. Aussie fire crews are battling to control wildfires before temperatures reach scorching highs again this weekend. There's been a little cool relief, but it's not set to last.
Firefighters are making the most of a cooler evening to get the blazes under control.
It's quite a dangerous time of the night, but a very effective time of the night too, that we can carry a lot of this type of work.
In Lithgow, New South Wales, arsonists are upping the ante, wreaking havoc in areas already under threat. And there's a ticking time bomb south of Sydney. Crews are trying to stop flames from reaching a former weapons range.
There is a risk of unexploded ordnance, so our crews are doing everything they can to prevent the fire from getting into that area.
By air, special choppers are targeting hard-to-reach spots before the fires get too close to houses. A tourist resort east of Alice Springs was reduced to ashes when flames swept through buildings on the campground. And Mother Nature is threatening to make matters worse.
We're looking at temperatures across much of New South Wales into the low mid-40s tomorrow and certainly extending into the high 40s on Saturday.
Fire crews know the weather will be their worst enemy in the coming days.
Gunned down in France, 3 Kurdish women have been found dead in the Kurdish Institute of Paris. France's Interior Ministry said the women had been executed. It's believed they were shot in the head. One of the victims is Sakin Kansiz, who was a founding member of the Kurdistan Workers' Party. The party took up arms in 1984, demanding self-rule for Kurds in southeast Turkey. It's regarded by many states as a terrorist organisation. Time is running out for a pack of killer whales trapped by ice in Canada. Part of the Hudson Bay recently froze over, forcing the animals to share a small opening in the ice as a breathing hole. Researchers say it's strange for the whales to be in the Arctic at this time of year. The animals usually leave before the ice moves in. Ideally, an icebreaker would clear a path for the whales, but officials say the nearest crew is too far away. The Canadian government is sending experts to the scene to see whether the orcas can be saved. Still to come, tragedy in Waterford. 1 dead after boat capsizes off Tremor coast. Plus, on hold for now, Indian gang rape trial postponed due to dodgy paperwork. Already forced from their homes, now thousands of Syrian refugees are fighting a new cold front. Harsh winter storms have made already difficult lives next to impossible. Here's how the situation is unfolding in one refugee camp in northern Jordan. Here, life was supposed to get better for these Syrians, but in Zatari camp, lives are collapsing all over again. Cold, rain and wind are now adding to the misery. There were children sleeping inside, he says. See what happened, water destroyed here. They may have lost their original homes to the war. Now they're losing their temporary homes to nature. The UN say they can't afford to do more.
We knew this was coming. We knew that the weather was going to get worse, and it's not going to be the last of the wet weather and the snow, unfortunately.
So why isn't there more prefab housing if you knew it was coming?
It's money. Simple as that. Like our funding is about 25 to 50% of what we asked for. So far, the UN insist, despite rumours, children are not dying of the cold. But everyone here knows the snow is coming. The trauma of 22 months of brutality is evident here in the faces of the old and the young. Numb all over, those here believe their new cruel world is still better than the one they left behind. Now it's back to the buzz.
Cheers, Cass. It's the tech show that just keeps on giving. Yes, it's day 3 at CES in Las Vegas, and the high-tech gizmos just keep coming. Here's what caught her eye today.
In between the robotic cleaners and back massagers, the long-awaited bendy smartphone has made its debut, sort of. Samsung's prototype works using organic light-emitting diodes and could change the way we interact with technology.
Our team was able to make a high-resolution display on extremely thin plastic. So instead of glass, so it won't break even if it's dropped.
The concept of the flexible screen has been around for some time, but it finally looks as if Samsung is really sort of going to deliver on that technology.
Want a water-safe iPhone? Liquipel has a special coating that makes any phone or tablet immune to the hazards of H2O.
So Liquipel is a nano coating. It's 1,000 times thinner than the human hair. So it doesn't affect the look, it doesn't affect the feel, and it doesn't affect the functionality.
Check out the world's first smart fork, the Happy Fork.
If you're eating too fast, it's going to buzz or it's going to light up and tell you to slow down, right?
Yes, you're going to have a gentle vibration.
Even gardening is going tech at CES. The Bluetooth-enabled gadget named Flower Power tells you how much water and sun your plant needs to stay blooming, even if you're not green-fingered.
It senses light, sunlight, temperature, moisture in the soil, as well as fertiliser in the soil.
A whopping 2,000 companies are showcasing at CES this year, so expect a lot more new gadgets hitting shelves over the coming months, years and decades.
Monopoly's iconic game pieces in the fight of their lives. Hasbro is replacing one of the tokens with a new one, and the game board maker has turned to Facebook to decide which of the classic game pieces gets the boot. People can vote on which token they'd like to see spared and can also decide on the replacement between a diamond ring, guitar, toy robot, cat or helicopter. This isn't the first time Hasbro has kicked some tokens to the curb. Previously retired pieces include a lantern, a cannon and a rocking horse. Happy B-Day to the Tube. London's iconic Underground Railway is celebrating turning 150. The Tube is the oldest rail system of its kind in the world and first started running in 1863. Steam trains were originally used on the tracks and was electrified in the early 1900s. It remains one of the busiest, up to 4 million passengers a day, the equivalent of half London's population. Now, if you're a little queasy, you may want to look away for just a minute. Meet Larry, the vomiting robot. He's the latest weapon in the war against the winter vomiting bug. Larry is helping scientists in the UK understand the crippling bug which causes projectile vomiting and diarrhoea. Researchers use Larry to study the way the vomit particles spray so they can work out how best to fight the contagious norovirus. Lovely. No word on how Larry feels about it yet, though. Not good, I'd say. That's you up to date with everything that's buzzing today. We'll be back with all the sports news after the break.
Thanks for that, Paul. It's all change at the Daily Star, and it doesn't make happy reading for at least 9 staff who are facing redundancy. In the past hour, the tabloid has announced that Independent News and Media will take full control of the paper. Up until now, it has owned a 50% stake. Staff will be relocated to the Independent offices in Dublin city centre. The initial job cuts will be made through changes to circulation and advertising. Now let's take a look at some other headlines from Here's Home. Tragedy at sea. A fisherman whose boat capsized off the coast of County Waterford has died. His friend is in hospital being treated for shock and hypothermia. Johnny Flynn, who's in his 40s, was airlifted by a Coast Guard helicopter from the water but was pronounced dead at Waterford Regional Hospital a short time later. A shocking daylight attack. A teenage boy is still in a serious condition in hospital after being stabbed on his way home from school in Drogheda. The 16-year-old was attacked on Lawrence Street in the town shortly after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. A man in his 20s was arrested and is being questioned at Drogheda Garda station. And more cuts to come. The HSE has confirmed that staffing levels are to be reduced by 4,000 this year. The move is outlined in a service plan that aims to save €700 million. It promises that no adult will have to wait more than 8 months for hospital treatment and no child will have to wait more than 20 weeks for an elective procedure. We're taking a break now, but still to come, all your sports news. Plus, time to sleep. Scientists predict this Russian eruption is nearly over. Plus, what Oprah really gets up to after dark. FYI is back in 3. Still to come with all your sport and showbiz news, but first let's have a quick recap of today's FYI headlines. Woman loses landmark right to die legal battle, an epidemic, female smokers on the rise, and church leaders call for referendum on abortion. Impressive but deadly. A volcano in far eastern Russia is continuing to spew lava and ash. Russian scientists say they're confident that the Ploski-Tobachik volcano will stop erupting soon. The volcano, which started erupting on November 27th, had previously been dormant for almost 40 years. Now for some other stories making headlines around the world. An explosive assassination attempt. A car bomb has rocked Tel Aviv, with Israeli police saying the blast was targeting the head of a criminal gang. 4 people were injured in the incident, with some witnesses claiming a motorcyclist threw the device at a car. Israeli media report that the target is a well-known underworld figure. Stalled for now, the hearing of 5 men accused of the rape and murder of a young medical student in India ended abruptly today over a paper error. The hearing was expected to result in the case being sent to a special fast-track court, but instead has been postponed until Monday after lawyers found that some of the official paperwork was not legible. And a sacred race. Runners in Japan scurried to win the coveted title of Lucky Man in a centuries-old race through a shrine. The winner of the annual 230-metre dash is traditionally said to have good fortune for the year. This year, 4,500 people took part, with an 18-year-old high school student beating the rest to the finish line.
Now it's time to see what's making the front of the world's papers today.
Harsh cold crippling the country is the headline on today's Independent, as Bangladesh sees its lowest temperatures since 1968. A massive procession takes up the front page of the Manila Bulletin in the Philippines, as hundreds of thousands take part in the Christian tradition. Winter pains are the headline on today's Edmonton Sun in Canada, with the paper reporting on a flu bug hitting hospitals hard, while the New York Post pictures the injured from yesterday's ferry crash in Manhattan, reporting that 74 were hurt in the incident.
Love that one. And if you've come across any good videos we're missing, let us know on our Facebook page or through Twitter. Don't forget you can catch up with FYI anytime on the 3Player. Now that's it from us for today. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 6.